Okay, welcome back. This is actually the second attempt on this lecture for this video. The first time around, apparently the sound wasn't working properly, so we'll try again. So in this lecture, we're just going to recap some of what we've been talking about balance, and this is a chance for me to show you some examples of student artwork and for me to just talk about them. But before we get to reviewing various students' assignments and some examples of those, we're going to look at some flyers that we've made in our department for creating discussion about the idea of balance. One of the things, if you've been in the art building, you may notice that there's still some flyers lying around from old campaigns. Every semester, we try to have a campaign about some design issue, and then these flyers are posted in random places, like the bathroom, to get people to think about these issues, just to think about balance, think about what it is, how they use it in their artwork, and then also to get them to think in more particular ways about certain issues related to balance, such as that not all balance is based on symmetry, and sometimes balances are asymmetrical, but they are related to symmetry. So like a piece like this, where it is asymmetrical balance, but you can see the original structure of the symmetry that's contained within. Then other types of balance are asymmetrical and seem completely asymmetrical, like there's no relation to symmetry at all. That this balance seems completely just of a purely non-symmetrical form. But if you look at it in terms of the axis being the diagonal going kind of roughly this way, that then you actually see that you could actually look at this as being slightly related to symmetry, although it's not obviously not perfectly symmetrical. And then another point that one of these flyers made was that not all symmetries are reflective, or that negative space has emphasis and has visual weight, and therefore sometimes just pure empty space can balance out other areas that are not filled with pure empty space. And so all of these are designed to just get students to think about balance and about unbalancedness and how to create balance and different ways of thinking about balance. So let's get to the student assignment. So in this case, in the previous version of the design class, the very first time students were introduced to balance was in a sketchbook assignment where they had to kind of record various types of real life symmetries, like find real life examples, looking at various things, and then record them as thumbnails in their sketchbook. So we have two student examples of that. And then a couple of weeks later, they had a sketchbook assignment very similar to yours, where they had to take letter forms, in this case a hand-designed R, and that they had to take a letter form and then reflect it symmetrically on itself, and then create kind of different types of symmetries. Reflexive axial symmetries are on diagonals, and also create radial symmetries and rotational symmetries based on that letter form. So here you see some examples of that. And they also had to do, let's go back just for a second. Just want to point out, notice how this one is rotational, but not radial, because the form is not not symmetrical on an axis, so it's always off from a perfectly symmetrical rotation, right? In that she's using an item that is repeated non-reflectively. Okay, so here we have examples of homework assignments where they did something very similar to what you guys are working on right now. These are homework assignments based on the idea of visual weight, but in their case, they had to pair two designs over each time, showing like basically repeat the design, but then change certain things about location and proximity and angle, orientation, and the value choice that you use for any particular shape, as a way of showing how those things changed the visual weight of the item, right, or of the shape. And then they also had a similar kind of project to yours, a little bit different, but I think these are two very nice examples of projects kind of based off of symmetry that use multiple values and also show a lot of good thought about figure ground. One student pursued radial and rotational symmetry ideas. Okay, and so that's about it. Um, and so hopefully these will give you a good sense of previous assignments and help with as you're working on the project. Don't forget that the project is due this Friday, but the homework assignment and sketchbook assignment are due this upcoming Wednesday. All right, thank you very much.